Is it recording? Yes, the mic is recording, that is good. I'm here today to talk about a hobby of mine called Warhammer 40,000. I don't know if you've heard of it. I've talked about it a few times before, but I'm here to talk about the current thing with Games Workshop's recent decision to add women to the ranks of the Adeptus Custodes. And I'm going to preface this with saying, I'm fine with it. I don't care. I'm here to talk about people's reaction. Because I went on YouTube and I found out about this through people talking about it or talking about reactions, like Bricky's video, which I'm fairly certain the entire comments section thought was going to be about piss. But the thing is, I am seeing grown-ass adults getting pissed off about the fact that women have been added to a faction of previously all men that was created entirely to sell toy soldiers. Grow up. You're an adult now. You have bigger problems than whether or not the Custodes have women. You have taxes to pay, bills to pay, a house to hopefully live in at some point, you know. You probably have a job. And here you are, whinging on social media because, Games Workshop has gone woke, with real-life air quotes. You guys can't see, this is an audio recording. I'm putting over gameplay I recorded earlier today. I know, editing. But the thing is with that is that I don't get it, personally, because all these people are complaining about GW retconning the lore and going woke. I'm trying to put the air quotes into voice because, I can't show it to you. And I'd just like to say that they retcon lore all the fucking time because the lore exists to sell minis, okay? Anyone remember the Squats, the original Space Dwarves? They didn't sell well, and so GW killed all of them by making them eaten by Tyranids. You know? It's like how, if GW doesn't have something that's selling well, or if it's just shit, they'll just get rid of it, my dude. And the thing is, it's not even like they've made models of this yet for you to complain about them now trying to force selling these female custodians on you. No, they've made like 3 paragraphs in the Adeptus Custodes Codex where I'm fairly certain they just went through an editing and replaced he's with she's. That's all they did. And people are shitting their britches over it, and it is actually embarrassing. Okay, again, Bricky's quote, it's just embarrassing seeing people acting like this, because it's a very vocal minority, right? I play games, I go to my local shop, I play some games there, you know, have some fun, eat some food, talk with people about the hobby, talk with people about the game. I'm moving the mic around a bit because I can just see the circle around my recording icon getting larger and smaller and larger and smaller, and I'm getting distracted. I probably have ADHD. Well, I mean, that would go along with the autism. And I see all these people that are just, like, fine with it because they don't care. Because they aren't here to complain about the lore or be some kind of anti-woke, we need to save the world because, God forbid, women exist. They're like, yeah, I played the game because I like playing with toy soldiers. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter, we play with toy soldiers, dude. I don't care how many hours you spend painting, it's still just toy soldiers. You know, sure, there's dice, and there's measuring, and the rules are more complicated than they fucking ever have been, other than 9th edition, Jesus Christ, that was a shit show. And while 10th Ed is a step in the right direction, and hopefully Empress Children happen this edition, I would like to point out that it doesn't matter at the end of the day. The lore doesn't matter. None of it matters, because it's a fake universe designed to sell toys. This would be like if Transformers made a Transformer that had a pride flag in their colours. It's the same robot as all the other ones, but there's a pride flag decal hidden somewhere on its mini, and every single Transformers fan was so angry because that doesn't fit with the lore of the robots. It's made to sell toys, nobody cares, and if you do care, I worry for you, because, you know, things made to sell toys, they often aren't the best. You know, the lore for Warhammer, to be honest, we're lucky it's as half decent as it is, because it could just be, yeah, there's people in space and they fight. But I would like to point out that this isn't even the most ridiculous thing that's happened in lore, you know. I think, again, I'm taking most of this from Bricky's video because it's the one I've seen that I agree with the most, so I'm going to steal a bunch of shit. Apparently we've had transgender Necrons, and I never heard anything about that because nobody complained. But the second there are women in a faction that people actually know about, they're pissed. And by the way, I am, like, whispering, I'm, like, talking quietly. I just have the mic basically touching my upper lip. That's why it sounds hopefully loud. I might just sound really echoey. If I do, I'm sorry. I am recording this in a dungeon. Don't ask what kind. You shouldn't argue with the 13th century French monarchs. Now, the thing is, right, all these people care, but they shouldn't, okay? You know, because Warhammer has always been a setting where, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Every man, woman, child, they, them, whatever the fuck you are, at the end of the day, you want just another worthless human that means nothing to the Imperium than a number and production meaning. That's all it is. Whether you're making food, being a soldier, helping them, living on a forge world, which is essentially just living in a factory, but as a planet and with longer shifts and no pay. You know, people eat corpses. They eat recycled corpses, you know. And also, you know, this universe, your gender doesn't matter because you're all equally worthless, you know? And the thing is, people are complaining about this as well, like it's some massive problem. There are bigger problems with the hobby that I would actually like to see complained about, that I would actually like people to be mad about, right? Because we have problems like scalpers getting their hands on 100,000 copies of every launch box. For example, in the weeks before Leviathan came out, I could go onto eBay and see people pre-ordering minis from someone else's box so they could only have those specific ones. And it was at like a massive markup. Like, the kits were cheaper than just getting them nowadays, but like, still not as cheap as just buying the box and selling all the other stuff like they did, I'm guessing. And then you have GW's fucking awful model pricing. Like, they make you pay for rules here. Like, it's not even like they're forcing it down your throats for free. You have to pay to be offended here, you know? And I don't just mean offended by the women, I just mean offended by how shit some rules are. You know, Custodes have actual problems with it, like some of their detachments just being ass, and there not being enough detachments that actually reward things, or there not being enough Sisters of Silence models for them to matter, you know? But that's not the problem here. The problem is just everything doesn't matter, and GW knows it. They don't care about the lore. Well, they do. They care a lot. They like their factions and their world to be grimdark. They want it to be how it should be, you know? And I respect that. I do respect wanting to keep a continuity, but I also respect the fact that if something doesn't sell well, just wreck on it and do it again, because maybe it'll do better. That's what happened with Leagues of Votann. They sold like fucking hotcakes. They're still going. They're only half an army, but we're going to ignore that. You know, Gene Stealers are just Tyranids light, but, you know, they do well. They're like AdMech, but for Tyranids. Everything in Warhammer is about the fact they're at war, you know? I don't see female Custodes as like some form of woke shit, because I reckon this means that there'll be female Space Marines at some point, and yeah, cool made Primaris, he can probably model with Space Marine shite so that it doesn't just like not be compatible with females. That makes sense, I can see that happening, it works in the lore, but I reckon when it happens, there will be a shitstorm about it. Well, if it happens, I guess. Maybe the backlash from this, from like all 7 people that actually are mad about it, because I've only seen like 14 videos about it, and they're all by like the same few people, just on different channels. And you know, it's like, I saw a video, I can't remember who it was by, which was titled The Quest to Save Warhammer 40k or something like that. Like, bro, it doesn't need saving. You know what needs saving? The people that play its wallets. Have you seen what old Forge World pricing was? And I know Forge World technically doesn't exist anymore, but at the same time, it's still Forge World resin, even if it's not on Forge World. And it's so expensive, and it's just, the rules are too complicated for new players to enjoy easily without having, like, games where not all of them are in play. I know that's what happened to me, and now I can use most of them. You know, I barely use my stratagems, but that's besides the point. I just play like shit. But I have a lot of fun rolling dice, you know. I did have a lot of fun stabbing a kill rig to death with Assault Intercessors and Blade Guard veterans. That was fun. That seems pretty lore accurate, actually. That is just a big squig with some stuff on it. But my point stands, and I'm trying to make this last as long as the 10-minute video that I've recorded of gameplay. We're at 9:11, 9:12, 9:13 currently, but like, I'm trying my best here. And the thing is, I just wrote my nose, that's how it was. The thing is with this, is that I don't get why people are so mad. I don't. I know I've said that this whole video, I've talked a lot without really saying much. That's because there's not really much to say, because I'm just apathetic to it. Like, I don't really care about Custodes lore. I like... They are... Sorry about yelling. Like, I don't really care about Custodes lore, right? I don't care about that shit, you know. They're golden, they're just Space Marines, but bigger, stronger, made by the Emperor. Makes sense? But it makes sense to me that with how shit the galaxy is currently, that they would change some things about the Custodes so they could have female custodians, so they could have more recruits. Like, that makes lore sense, so I don't know why people are mad, okay? that's what I'm going to say. Please like and subscribe, and I probably won't do another video like this because it's just not as fun as my other videos. So I'll see you all in